Hey viewers, hey subscribers, and welcome back to my channel, you guys, Aquarian Empress Tarot. How are you guys doing? How are you guys holding up during this Mercury retrograde? That is my first question. Y'all, so the reason I'm here is to talk a little bit about something that's not commonly talked about in the spiritual / tarot community, which is spiritual psychosis, right? It's a real thing. For those of y'all that don't know, it is a real thing. And what prompted this is, we just had the solar eclipse, right? And we are in the middle of Mercury retrograde. We're in the thick of it. We're in the thick of it. So we're in the thick of Mercury retrograde. And a lot of crazy stuff has been happening. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go live and let's talk about it. So the biggest thing that's like really weighing heavy on my spirit right now is what happened with Danielle Johnson, aka the Mystic Lipsticks astrologer, right? They have the large following. I don't know if y'all have seen or heard about the story, but it's absolutely sad and disheartening. My heart goes out to the surviving child of the situation, because I can only imagine what that poor baby suffered through. That was a traumatic experience, and it's probably going to take her a while to get through that. She's so young. She's 9. But let me look it up for y'all, since we're talking about spiritual psychosis, because it's a thing. And you know what I don't like about a lot of journalists and news reporters and the media in general is that people will try to make a mockery out of someone else's spiritual or religious beliefs, because they done something out of character. You know what I mean? They committed an act that was immoral. Okay, so this woman, not only did she unalive her boyfriend, her 8-month-old child, and then she turned around and unalived herself. Horrible situation, right? But she had a large following, and people that followed her were saying that she was saying that all this was happening, that people needed to pick a side. People needed to pick a side because the eclipse was happening, and people needed to pick a side, whatever that's supposed to mean. Okay. There's a possibility that there was something mental going on there. There also is a possibility that there was postpartum depression involved. She had an 8-month-old child. Recently gave birth to another human. And that is very much a real thing. It doesn't matter whether you're a spiritualist, an astrologer. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, lawyer, Christian, Buddhist. If you are a mother, there is a possibility that you could experience postpartum depression or some form of mental illness. Anybody can experience it. Anybody. And I hate the way that, they try to demonize her spiritual beliefs. That has nothing to do with someone's mental health and mental well-being. Keep in mind, she was living in Los Angeles. Also keep in mind that she was a social media influencer. She had a very large following on Twitter. So she may have felt an extreme amount of pressure with such a large following to present herself in a particular way. To present herself as someone who never goes through anything, always happy, always smiling. She's human. She probably had relationship problems, hence the unaliving of the boyfriend, which was very brutal. She, just like anybody else, right? Relationship problems. That's real life. That is real life. Could have been going through some financial things as well. The economy is not great, right? And it's very expensive to live in California. Just throwing that out there. So many different factors play a role into why people do the stuff that they do, right? But it's not an opportunity to demonize somebody's like spiritual beliefs because, this person did this horrible crime and they were a Christian. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? The person did something that was heinous, immoral, sickening. And you want to focus on the fact that this person worshipped rocks? What does that matter? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying here? Y'all see what I'm saying? It's the propaganda for me. Like, it's the demonization of things that people don't understand or don't agree with. Now, keep in mind that one of the most famous celebrity psychic mediums, Sloan Bella, made a prediction that came true a year ago, and it came true this year. Right? So for those of y'all naysayers and unbelievers in astrology and tarot, good luck. But I just had to come on and talk about that situation with Danielle Johnson and her 2 children, because my heart goes out to her family, praying for the welfare of the surviving child, the 9-year-old. I pray that the family surrounds her with nothing but love, because the babies deserved so much more. They deserve so much more. And I don't know. I hope and pray that Danielle, her spirit, can find peace. Because I feel like she was going through something. I just feel like she was going through something a lot. And I feel like she felt like she had to keep up this image. And even though she may have been suffering mentally, financially, spiritually, whatever the case was, she may not have felt like she had anybody that she could actually reach out to. You know, when you have people who have large followings on social media, they have a certain it's almost like they feel pressured to live up to a certain, what is the word I'm looking for? They have to look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, they feel like they have to perform. That's the word. They feel like they have to perform. It's like, you know, that saying, fake it till you make it, like how you put on a happy face when you go to work, even though you hate that place. For some people, like, that's what a lot of people in spiritual communities do on social media. And I wish we could just normalize saying, you know what, I'm going through a lot. I need some time off. Can somebody help me with these kids? Can somebody recommend, suggest something I can do to help with this situation? You know what I'm saying? You can book it, Jennifer. PayPal. Hi. But I wish we would really normalize asking for help and reaching out. Also normalize checking on your tarot readers and your spiritualists and your astrologers. We are all human. PayPal is fine, love. We're all human. You know what I'm saying? We are all human. So we need to normalize checking on people, checking on your loved ones, checking on the people that you follow. They're people. If you haven't seen nobody in a hot minute, check on them. Ask them if they need anything. Ask them if they're okay. You know, honey, you can go to my website and book there. This is just a chit chat. This is not a live reading session. Hold on. Here's my website. And you can go there and book a love reading. That's the website. You see it? That's the website. And it'll direct you to PayPal when you go in, when you log on to the website. Go to my services, products and services page. Book your reading there, put in your information, right? And it will automatically direct you to PayPal. You can put in whatever information you need for me to know, if you need for me to know anything, or if you're just wanting to book a general, you can book a general, a love reading, whatever reading you need to book, okay? No, this is just a chit chat. The title of this is just a chit chat and spiritual psychosis. This was just a little discussion. This wasn't live readings. I'll be doing live readings tomorrow night. But those are going to be 18 plus, after dark, explicit. And I'll probably be live again Saturday morning for questions. Yeah. But this is just a chit chat, you know? Because I was so disturbed by the story when I saw it about Danielle Johnson, the astrologer, and everything that happened. You're welcome, love. But feel free to go over to my website, like I said, and you can book a reading there, and it will direct you to PayPal to send your payment there. And you can put your information inside of the comment box on my website. It gives you that. You put in your email, you put in, there's a little notes box or comments, and you put in there like whatever questions you have. Yeah. But y'all, I was just so disturbed. And then like all of a sudden now all these stories are coming out. I just seen earlier today that somebody, they unalived the child because God told them to do it. Like, it's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. So the whole point of this, hang on, y'all. I wanted to address spiritual psychosis. What is spiritual psychosis? A lot of people have never heard of it, but it happens, right? So spiritual psychosis is behaviors and thought patterns expressed during spiritual emergencies, and psychosis exemplify a loss of rational thought. Such symptoms include disorganized behaviors, irrational or confused speech patterns, because what are you talking about? The end of the world is not coming during a solar eclipse. No one's being raptured. God didn't speak to you. You see what I'm saying? It's irrational. People be going off the deep end. Talking about pick a side. What are you talking about? Such symptoms include diagnosed behaviors, irrational or confused speech patterns, and significant alterations in the way they view themselves and their place in the world. Okay? And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because it's a lot of people who, especially, you know, like, in the religious communities that like to force their beliefs on other people. It's a lot of fear mongering. And I feel like some of that has spilled over into the spiritual community as well. There's a lot of fear mongering, and it needs to stop. Making people afraid that if they don't raise their vibration, they're never going to come into alignment. They're never going to elevate. I'm using these terms because these terms are what's used in spirituality, in the spiritual communities on Instagram and TikTok. These are the hot spots, right? The same concept of the so-called woke people are the ones that use, they're human beings just like everybody else. Nobody is above the next person. We are all on this earthly plane, which is the lowest of the realms next to hell. Earth is one of the lower realms, okay? Yeah, you made it here. You made it here. So if you are on this earth, you are on one of the lower realms. You're on the lower spectrum. Okay. So nobody's above the next person. No matter how high you raise your vibe, you're not above anyone. We're all on this journey, our own life's purpose, our own life's journey. Now, with that being said, please, if you are prescribed medications by a licensed medical professional, such as a physician or a doctor, take your medication. I understand that a lot of people are into herbal remedies and natural medicines, and there's nothing wrong with that. But please consult with your doctor. Okay? That's fine. If you want to smoke a little Zaza and do your thing, that's your business. You're grown. You're an adult. But please, for the sanity of all of us around you that have to deal with the aftermath, and if you're on medication, combining certain herbs with certain medications, they don't mix. They don't mix. It's just like if you have a prescription bottle of medication, they tell you clearly on the label, do not take this with alcohol. Okay? People really need to acknowledge the fact that there are a lot of people who are mentally unwell. They're mentally unwell. And people can get on the internet and pretend that their life is peachy keen, and it's not. It's not. And that's the downside I feel about social media, is that a lot of people get on here and they act like they don't have financial hardships. They don't have relationship issues. They don't have issues raising their children. They don't have problems with their jobs. That everything is it's not easy. Like I said, earth is the lowest realm of the realms. Whatever you came here for, Spirit is going to make sure, see to it that you come here to do it. And if you try to get out of it, you might just have to come back. So there's that. But sending my love and my prayers for the families of the victims, because I don't know, her boyfriend's family, I'm pretty sure they're suffering, and then the surviving child that she had, that baby. And I hate the way that social media doesn't say, why can't we focus on sending love and support to the families, to the surviving family, right? Or how can this have been prevented? Like, what could we have done differently? Crazy. But the first thing everybody wants to do is demonize the astrologers and the tarot readers and the girls who have crystals and sage. There's not enough sage in the world that can stop mental illness. If you're struggling with something, you need to seek help. And I say that with all the love in my spirit. If you're struggling mentally, please reach out. Reach out to a loved one. Reach out to someone in the medical profession, somebody that can help you, a therapist, a counselor, a psychiatrist. Reach out. Enough people do not reach out enough. And if you're supposed to be taking your medication, take it. Fluoride is not blocking your third eye. It's not going to keep you from being in a lot. People be worried about the wrong stuff. It's not blocking your third eye. Is it good for your body? Not necessarily. But it's not going to keep you from being in alignment. There's a lot of bullshit that's talked about in the spiritual community, in the tarot communities, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. And people also need to be careful. You have to be very careful of what you hear on social media, because a lot of people have no idea what they're talking about. People they just be doing this. Just talking for no reason. Just to hear themselves. Just to gain a following. Just to have clout. No, ma'am. Never that. Then there was this couple that everybody was raving about on the internet that got married on the day of the eclipse. Now, as a spiritual practitioner myself, me personally, I could never. Let me tell y'all why. I would never get married during a solar eclipse in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. Who does that? Not me, said the cat. Not I, said the cat. Reason for that is Mercury retrograde is a time where so many miscommunications, glitches, misunderstandings, chaos breaks loose, right? Right. If you know, you know. Retrograde is not the time to be locking yourself into big contracts, into making promises to people, getting into altercations. None of that. None of that. Marriage is a binding contract. Marriage is a sacred union, as above, so below. So what you tie yourself to in the physical world, in the spiritual world, you're connected to as well. The two coexist synergistically. Okay? So I would never set my wedding date for a day during Mercury retrograde in a solar eclipse, in a total solar eclipse. Absolutely not. And the energy that it was giving during Aries season was very chaotic. And solar eclipses are portals. Okay? So all types of energy come through there. But I would like to dispel the narrative that people are acting out because of the eclipse. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. People make choices on their own. The eclipse didn't make them do it. The eclipse had nothing to do with it. Okay? The eclipse had nothing to do with it. God had nothing to do with it. People be doing what they want to do because that's what they're going to do. They set it in their mind to do it, so they did it. I just got to make that clear. And y'all, I don't know. I will say, if you are trying to stay grounded during this retrograde period, take a nap. Get you some sleep. Take supplements and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So that you can be well rested, be able to, function well throughout the course of the day and do whatever you need to do. Okay? Anybody wanting to come into the live stream tomorrow night? We're going to be on here late tomorrow night because it's Friday, baby. So tomorrow night, it's going to be a little bit different. I am going to go live, but it's going to be an 18 plus version because I was getting asked about that. I was getting asked about my saucy readings, baby. And sometimes we like to spice it up a little bit. So if you're into spicy things, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So if you're into spicy things, be here tomorrow night. I'm going to try to get started at 9 o'clock because that's when all the kitties should be in the bed. All the little people should be in the bed. And then we shall get started. Okay. So I just want to let y'all know we're going to have a little fun with it, and I'm going to do it by zodiac sign. And I'm going to do what your person fantasizes about you according to the zodiac sign that they are. Okay. That's how we're going to play that game. Because I have sexually explicit rated X type tarot decks that I will be using. So just know that. Okay. But thank you guys so much for all of the support. Sending you love, peace, blessings. Stay grounded, y'all. Stay prayed up. Stay protected. And until next time, peace out, y'all.